If you're always hungry, it may have nothing to do with your willpower. My patients often come to me, especially women, complaining of constant hunger and they're frustrated and they don't know what to do. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline and welcome to the Healthy Muse. Today, I'd love to talk about a topic that I feel is really important and something that I hear quite often from my patients is, why am I always hungry? Well, I'd love to share top reasons why you might be experiencing constant hunger and what you can possibly do about it. Remember, everything is very bio-individual, everything is very personalized, so always speak to your doctor and your healthcare practitioner for what is important and necessary for you. So let's dive right in. First, I'd like to say that what you're experiencing is completely normal. Our body is not broken. Our body is trying to communicate with us constantly. Sometimes what happens is we don't pay attention or we want to drown out the noise and numb ourselves. So one of the first things is skipping meals. If you are busy, if you're running around, if you forget to eat, or you don't honor your physical hunger and nourish yourself, guess what? Later on, the body is going to catch up with you. If you are not feeding yourself consistently at consistent times of the day or early evening, then guess what? Later on, evening rolls around and you're going to ravage your pantry and your fridge. So one of the first things I can really suggest is make sure that you are not skipping meals anywhere between 4 and 5 hours. Now, some people need to eat every 3 hours depending on what's necessary for them. If they have certain conditions, they might need to nourish themselves a little bit more frequently. Eating at consistent times helps to balance your blood sugar, which directly impacts our energy level. When we have spikes and lows in blood sugar, guess what? It causes a lot of cravings. So making sure your body receives a consistent amount of nourishment every single day at around similar times will help reduce constant hunger. Second thing is hydration. Sometimes you think you are hungry or you feel you're hungry, but actually you might be dehydrated. So getting adequate water, remember fruits, vegetables have some water. If you're having things like herbal teas, if you're having coffee, that can be dehydrating. So something to be mindful of is adequate hydration, which can really influence hunger and cravings. Number three is really pay attention to what is on your plate, in your bowl, or what kind of snacks you're having. If you are used to having sugary foods, highly processed foods, and oftentimes don't have a balance of the three macronutrients, if you watched my previous video on carbohydrates, I dive a little deeper on that. Essentially, macronutrients are three major nutrients that our bodies need most of consistently: your carbohydrates, your proteins, and fats. Maybe next time pay attention to if your meal consists of all three of these nutrients. How does your body feel versus not having all three in balance? So oftentimes patients come to me and say, you know what, Jacqueline, I feel so much better not skipping meals, making sure I have some carbs, some fat, and some protein really helps to feel nourished and satisfy you. So just an invitation to pay attention to what your meals look like. So far we covered not skipping meals, making sure you are eating consistently at consistent times. Number two is making sure you are hydrated. Number three is making sure we have all the balance of the macros, the proteins, the fats, and the carbohydrates. Four, I want to talk about sleep. If you are not getting adequate sleep, if you are not sleeping well, guess what? That will show up in hunger and cravings the next day. Just one night of poor sleep can increase what's called insulin resistance, which means our bodies are not using sugar efficiently, okay? And unfortunately, that can cause a lot of imbalances, hormonally inadequate sleep, right? It affects our hormones, our hunger hormones. You may start to have cravings for foods you don't normally have just with one night of poor sleep. So everybody needs different times. Some people need 6, some people need 9. I find that women need more hours of sleep. So try to get anywhere between 7 to 9 hours consistently. You will start to notice that your energy improves. When your energy improves, you have fewer cravings. You're able to make more mindful decisions about what kind of foods you choose to eat. Another thing is stressed. When we are stressed, the body is craving more food, possibly. Some people lose their appetite when they're stressed, but oftentimes when we are, just running around, we have too much going on in our minds, in our lives. Stress will sometimes make us feel like we are craving food. Other times it may really be that we are craving something emotionally, right? Are you really hungry for food, or are you hungry for comfort, for peace? Are you hungry for excitement? Are you hungry for connection? So really tune into your body and pay attention to those signals. And that may take some time. Sometimes your body needs physical nourishment, sometimes it's emotional nourishment, and sometimes it's both. And one more thing I would say is if you are really active or you're just running around, you may just be under fueling. Maybe you need a little bit more energy because you're expending more energy. So again, these are just general guidelines. Remember, if you are working with me one-on-one, we dive deeper into really what's going on with you, your emotions, your body, and really try to understand what your body is trying to communicate. Remember, your body is not broken. Your body is always, always communicating something with you. And sometimes it's just about slowing down and really trying to tune in and understand what's going on and ask questions. So thank you so much, my friends, for joining me today. I hope that was helpful for you. I'd love to know in the comments, what are you hungry for, and any kind of topics that you would be interested in learning about. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.